Irregular but important. Mastering comparative and superlative forms in English. Hello, language learners. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of irregular comparative and superlative adjectives. These might not follow the usual rules, but they're just as important to your English language skills. So, let's get started. Before we get into examples, let's clarify what we mean by irregular in this context. Typically, to form comparative adjectives, we add "er" to the end of an adjective, and for superlative adjectives, we add "est." For instance, fast becomes faster and fastest. But not all adjectives play by these rules. Some have unique forms that we have to learn individually. These are our irregular comparative and superlative adjectives. Now let's look at some examples. We'll cover each one in detail, so you'll have a solid understanding by the end of this video. Good, better, best. The adjective good becomes better in its comparative form and best in its superlative form. So, we would say, she is a good student, she is better than me at mathematics, and she is the best student in our class. Bad, worse, worst. Bad changes to worse and worst. For instance, he made a bad mistake becomes his mistake was worse than mine, and it was the worst mistake he could have made. Far, further, farther, furthest, farthest. Far becomes further or farther, and furthest or farthest. Further and furthest are more common in British English, while farther and farthest are more common in American English. They can be used interchangeably in most contexts, but some style guides recommend using farther for physical distance and further for metaphorical or figurative distance. Little, less, least. Little becomes less and least. However, note that these are primarily used with uncountable nouns. For example, I have little patience, I have less patience than you, and I have the least patience of anyone I know. Many, much, more, most. Many and much both become more and most. Remember, many is used with countable nouns and much with uncountable ones. For example, he has many friends, he has more friends than I do, and he has the most friends of anyone I know. And there we have it. Those are just a few examples of irregular comparative and superlative adjectives in English. Remember, irregular doesn't mean unimportant. It's essential to know these forms to express comparison and superlatives correctly in English. Keep practicing, and soon they'll be second nature to you. Stay curious, keep learning, and I'll see you in our next lesson. Until then, happy studying.